Okay, guys.
Yes.
I made it. I just got out of Melania. Well, no, not in that way. Hold on. I just got out of the movie theater. I was undercover, you see. You can see my ticket right here. That's right. One ticket to Back to the Past, a movie that was playing at the same time as the Melania documentary.
I'm really glad you didn't pay for that.
Yeah, seriously. I was going to worry that we were immoral making this podcast.
There's a word for this, right? What's this called?
A screen hopping or something.
A very juvenile move there, Phil. I approve.
My wife told me that she was excited for my mischief.
I mean, so is Donald Trump going to sue us for $1 billion? Probably.
Well, yeah, I imagine it'll have to be in line. I'm sure AMC will be breathing down our necks on this one. We're in a lot of trouble.
I mean, Trump isn't even the copyright holder here, right? Presumably it's, whatever production.
It's
Amazon.
Yeah,
Dude,
Amazon.
Jeff Bezos, dude.
God, there were so many production logos. It was nuts. And also so many previews for movies I'd never heard of that are like vaguely patriotic. Did you know this summer there's a movie coming out called Young Washington?
No, but even if it were something that a lot of people knew, I probably wouldn't know about it. I'm not very up on what movies are coming out.
All right, so first question, Phil. Melania,
ask
Marty
away.
Supreme.
Melania, Marty Supreme. I will maybe throw out a huge swath of questions here by saying I really, really, really disliked this movie. I thought it was super, super boring. It was truly execrable viewing. I went in with a mission to bring back information on this, and even I couldn't stay in the theater the whole time. I walked out. I was playing video games. I was barely paying attention for the last half of the movie.
Was it crowded?
I didn't boo. You know what? It was a little crowded. I mean, for like a midday showing on a Sunday, there was definitely more people than I thought there would be. And I gotta say this, chatty crowd. They had all sorts of opinions on what was going on the screen, and they were very impressed. They loved it. So this is the 20 days leading up to the inauguration, right? That's the subject of the movie.
The first inauguration?
The second inauguration. And whenever Trump was on the screen, people were excited. Like you could hear them like, okay, look, we're going to get some more of the president. We have so few opportunities to hear from Donald J. Trump. And they were clapping in the audience when he was making a speech for the inauguration. You saw this on the news. I'm sure you saw this on the news. And now you're clapping when you hear it again. They were inspired.
I mean, it makes sense that the type of person who would actually spend money to end in like the middle of the day on a weekend, like you're spending your weekend watching a documentary about Melania.
It was a bad movie, but do you feel like she's a more sympathetic figure or anything now? Do you feel like, did your opinion on her change?
Some information that has come out about her recently has made my opinion on her change a little bit. The last batch of Epstein files released, right? And there's some interesting quotes about her within the files. Trump and Melania. I think like Michael Wolff talks about this in his book. They first had relations on the Lolita Express. Epstein referred to Melania as like Trump's Achilles heel, talking about how she was really upset with him about the porn star and like really insistent on knowing if Trump had an affair with Stormy Daniels before or after Barron was born. I guess my opinion is that she just seems to be at the shit end of the stick of a lot of just being married to Donald Trump. Like there wasn't quite the relationship she entered into.
I mean, what did she think she was entering into?
I mean, just marrying your like a rich guy and being a rich guy wife is very different than being first lady. You know.
Right. So you think she's upset about being first lady, but she was cool to be a rich guy's wife?
I mean, I don't know personally, but I could certainly see it. Phil, you watched the movie. Does it dive into this at all?
Probably doesn't get into the Lolita Express very much.
But the director's an expert, dude.
That's another funny thing about the movie. The director, prolific sex pest Brett Ratner, has maybe met Melania through Jeffrey Epstein as well. He's also featured in the files, hanging out with Big J Dog, J.E.
So I don't actually know hardly anything about Melania's biography. Is this like a full biography or like what's the scope of this movie?
One interesting thing about Melania's biography that they touched on in the film is she's an immigrant from Yugoslavia, modern day Slovenia. She had this section where she's kind of bonding, I guess, or like this interior designer is trying to bond with her, which is a really difficult task because Melania, she can't express emotion on her face. She has a petrified grimace of plastic surgery that makes it impossible for her to emote.
That explains why I've never seen her emote.
It's really unsettling to look at her face for long periods of time, which I did voluntarily, like an idiot.
This sounds so painful, man. You're a hero, Phil.
I think the word hero gets thrown around a lot these days. I prefer martyr. Okay, so she's bonding, right, over her immigrant past with this Laotian interior designer, and they're going over plans for the new White House. I find out this woman's Laotian from the conversations. Like, when I was in Laos, it was like this, and now I'm in America. It's this beautiful dream, and I get to live out this sort of fantasy I could only imagine in Laos, she said. And then Melania is like, oh, yes, I think the immigrant experience is very important. In my home country, it was different, but now I'm in America and it's better or whatever. And it's like, and she kept saying my home country. And it was I thought it was so interesting because it's like, there is that tension there, right? Because the Trump administration is so anti-immigrant. It's like she's subconsciously not allowed herself to mention where she's from for fear of like reprisal from the MAGA faithful. She just alludes to being from another country. She doesn't state Yugoslavia or Slovenia.
Okay.
She doesn't allow herself to identify with it.
But so, I mean, I was kind of asking, like, is it like a full biographical kind of movie? Like, do they talk about her childhood in Slovenia? Like, do they dedicate screen time to that, or like what's the movie about?
It's 20 days leading up to
it's just
the
about
inauguration.
These 20 days. Okay, got it. That's it. So
and it's like her schedule, and it's so mundane.
That's
but
really
it's like
boring.
It's like rich person mundane. Like, she's working with her fashion designer, her private fashion designer, to design a dress for the inaugural ball. She's setting up the party details at the inauguration ball.
So does the movie have a plot? Is she moving from having a problem at the beginning of the movie to having solved it at the end and growing as a person? Or
of course not.
No,
problem is she needed a dress for the ball.
I mean, lots of actors don't change as people, but they portray a change on screen, right? She could have been doing something like that.
So like, there's a lot of conventional story beats that she was ill-suited for. In the absence of development, right, as a character throughout the thing, because it's a documentary, you can't count on anyone to be different at the end of the documentary, like go through some trial. I don't know, maybe that's a failure of the director, I don't know. In the absence of that, one way you can build a relation with the subject of your documentary is to get like some view of their emotional life, which is impossible for her because she can't express emotion on her face. It is frozen. We go through her appointments, and she's like, here's an exciting thing. You get to talk with the First Lady, Mrs. Macron of France. And they're talking about Melania's program. It's called something like
Be Best. That one?
Be Best. That's right. Yes. The Be Best. One positive thing I'll say about the First Lady is I love her accent, particularly when she says cyberbullying. She kept saying she was talking about the dangers of cyberbullying.
She has a close relationship with the number one cyberbully in the country, so she would be an expert.
One detail I found interesting is that her favorite musician is Michael Jackson. She has a type. She meets with this former hostage, someone who was captured by Hamas, and is called to have a conversation with this woman, try to reassure her that once Trump takes office, it will all be taken care of. The details of which she basically says, once my husband is in office, it will be taken care of. She doesn't get into anything at all.
But she's already not a hostage, right? This one's already been freed, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Can you imagine, though, if Melania went into the Gaza Strip to interview hostages who are currently in captivity, dude?
I mean, she might be a tough negotiator. She has the hell of a poker face. Anyways, Aviva Siegel is the name of this woman, and her husband is still, at the time of the documentary, was still in custody, though now all the hostages are returned. This poor woman just crying, and just into her sort of blank, slight smile, nodding. There's a distracting thread throughout the movie that's pretty unavoidable when it comes to the Trumps, which is they're just so fucking rich. It's crazy. Like, every room they're in is gold-plated, and every time they need to move from location to location, it's by private jet. Every half day, they're like, well, I need to take care of this in New York and also this in Florida and then DC and then back to New York and then back to Florida. It even pervades through into the music budget for the movie. Like, they were playing licensed music like Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, and like that Tears for Fears song, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and then the Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones is the opening song. It's just like so excessive. It's crazy. But I guess that's not exactly surprising. When you got that Bezos bills, yeah, you can get whatever.
I mean, come on, they're pretty poor compared to Bezos.
I've basically told you about the whole movie. It's just them going about their routine, and they didn't bring any extra sort of insight into it. And there are two things I didn't understand at the end of the movie. Like, one, what was the point of this? If it was a propaganda film, they would be trying to sell you on the justice of their cause or something. But it was really just like going over her Google Calendar. Like, it was not persuasive in the way that propaganda typically is.
Was it humanizing?
See, that was what I was
I don't think it was even anthropomorphizing. Like, it was truly like watching poster board most of the movie.
The theory I saw is it's basically a bribe to Brett Ratner to not say all the stuff about Donald Trump that he knows. They basically got Bezos to pay a bribe for them. Because, he wasn't working because he's a horrible, notorious sex pest who got accused by like 8 separate women of doing horrible stuff. And so he was basically in exile until Donald Trump got him a job here, making a movie about his wife.
We know that part, but I mean, I think it's still nice to talk about the merits of the film itself.
Yeah, no, I saw the damn thing. Like, I'm trying to like make sense of like a cold and uncaring universe writ large through this movie.
So did she come across as on top of her shit, energetic person who's busy because she's just doing awesome stuff because she's just making big moves because she's important and smart and all that?
I think there's like an unwritten rule that first ladies have to be the head of some sort of like social change. They have to be seen as powerful figures in their own right. There's a quote from her in the movie that I found so interesting. I will always use my influence to fight for those in need.
Do you guys discern that in her actions? Because I can't see that.
I think she just narrows it down on like traditional purview of the first lady, which is programs for children. That seems to be basically where they're focused.
Not the ones who are getting put in camps.
I remember hearing that like one of the times when Trump flip-flopped from super simpy to kind of normal with Putin in Ukraine was because Melania talked to him about how Russia had kidnapped thousands of children from Ukraine. I don't remember where I heard that or whether that was reliable, but that would be an example of standing up for people in need.
Yeah, I think that is something she really tries to do good work on. She's limited in her capacity to do so by an administration run by her husband that is kidnapping children off the street and throwing them in camps. Like, that limits her impact somewhat.
Well, we don't know how bad it would be without her. Let's not run that experiment. So did you wear the hat and glasses in the theater? Like, were you concerned that you would be identified? Or like that they might stop you on the street?
For the sake of the bit, yes, but no, I didn't actually. Yeah, I was like, oh, I thought this was a 3D movie, actually.
God, Phil, you're sick.
It was a funny idea, you have to admit.
I
Did
mean,
you know Barron Trump is 6'9"?
Yeah, dude, he's humongous.
I had no idea. They were like following him around, and it's like, wow, he's taller than the Secret Service agents. That's kind of interesting. Oh, wow, he's taller than his dad by like a lot, and his dad's pretty tall. And then they showed him in a crowd, and he's just like shoulders above everyone else, and it's like, wait, is he like cartoonishly tall? How tall is he? He's 6'9".
Taller than
Yeah.
LeBron. LeBron is 6'8". This sounds like this sounds like the shittiest movie ever, man. This movie sounds
it's honestly on the list. Like my previous answer of Piranha as the most non-movie movie I've ever seen, it's up there. I didn't see any live animals get shot and their heads blown off in this one, but like emotionally, that's what happened to me. Like a 10-second shot of her watching the news when the Pacific Palisades fire was happening, just
I feel concerned.
I felt so many emotions. Like she does the voiceover for the movie too. So it's like, it's hard to contain my emotions when seeing such tragedy befall these people. At least they weren't being cyber-bullied. One mystery I wanted to get at was the audience, and I did a little snooping after the movie. I just kind of followed people around, looking at my phone. Not really. No, I wasn't like stalking them, but like I lingered outside the theater a little bit to listen to conversations as people passed by. And like, I think it's strange as it sounds, the people were there for the right reasons, as like the movie appealed to them unironically on what it was selling. They were talking about things like, her hair looks so good.
You would hope
on
so.
review, I think that was basically what the movie was about. It was about how she looks really good in her dress, and that outfit she wore to the inauguration where she has the hat, she looks like really sinister. That looks like a normal outfit from different angles. I think that was basically...
I mean, to be fair, if you watched a movie about a boxer, you'd want to see him boxing. If you watched a movie about a rock climber, you'd want to see him rock climbing. If you watch a movie about a lady who looked really good and got places because of it, you want to see her looking good, right?
I think that's the movie. I think like I keep digging at it. I just like, there has to be more. There has to be more. There has to be a sinister motivation, or there has to be something they were aspiring to. But I think at the end of the day, the thing that I watched against my better judgment was just about this woman who was, married for her looks, looking good, just looking good. And that's all I can really offer to you. 5 stars, movie of the year.
Obviously better than Marty Supreme.
5 stars out of how many? 5 out of 5? 5 out of 100?
5 out of 5, baby. I did give it a half star on Letterboxd, the social media for movie watchers. Look at that average rating.
I saw it has like 6% on Rotten Tomatoes or something.
I can't tell what the average rating is. It's 0. It's like,
it's
like
that's the half star. So that's the ratings, and then the rest of the space is like where you would put the ratings. It says it has a 1.3 average, which isn't true based on the graph. Oh no, I see. There's a thin line of all the other ratings. Okay, I think it bumped up to 11% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 99% audience score.
What does the audience score mean?
A bunch of totally real people rated it 5 stars.
I half expected it to be an empty theater where people just like bought tickets as sort of like a consumerist show of support for the Republican Party. But like, there were real people there, real elderly people were there, and they were having a grand old time and expressing it very vocally throughout the whole movie in a way that would have been annoying if I cared at all about the movie. If you really wanted to see the movie, you kind of missed your opportunity to see it under the best circumstances. For example, there was a Craigslist post in Boston offering $50 for anyone who wanted a free ticket to see Melania, with the provision that you must sit through the entire movie. I would say, after having watched the movie, I think $25 an hour is too low for your labor, and you require more, and you should think more of yourself. Do better next time. So yeah, that's Melania.
Sounds incredible. I think I'll pass on this movie.
I'm really glad that you took the bullet on this one, Phil.
I understand less about the subject than when I walked in. I found it confusing and scary and catatonically boring. And I wish I could get that time back, but I always enjoy spending time with you. And I enjoy spending time with you, audience. So
If one of you is Brett Ratner and you enjoy this podcast more than Melania, your own movie, leave a comment.
If you want to offer people money to sit through the entire podcast, let us know in the comments.
Or just do it. That's okay.
Yeah, throw it up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and let us know how much you like it under duress. And we'll see you next time on another stone-facing episode of Infohazard. Bye!